Welcome to Kev's Travel Stories. Each week I'll be bringing you a story from the weird and wonderful world of travel, a world that can change the way you see life and love and even the way we find meaning. Places that are iconic and sometimes surprising and even terrifying. So sit back and enjoy while we go on a magical mystery tour together. Welcome to Kevin's Travel Stories, and this week's episode I'm going to talk about the art of making new friends. And this comes about by doing one thing, something that may be difficult for many people to do, but so rewarding, and that is talking to strangers. Now, you can do this with or without family, and I'm going to suggest and give you a challenge, a call to action by the end of this podcast. You see, everybody has a story, and everybody is cleverer than we think, and everybody has something they would like to share. The trick is, when you're traveling, and particularly when you're traveling on your own, but it can also happen when you're traveling with family or friends, it's making that connection with a local. Now, why should one bother, you may ask, in connecting a local? Well, how else, I would say, are you going to get an insight into the life and also the secrets of this new destination, which you've taken the trouble, you've got up early, you've taken a plane or a ferry or a bus, you've spent money and hard-earned time and energy to get there. So why would you not want to get a little bit of an insight? Even if you're lying on a beach for 2 weeks, wouldn't it also add zest to the experience to get an insight from someone who lives there, to get an insight as to what it's like, how it's different from home, and how the human story, which is so fantastic and so mesmerizing, can be shared with a simple few tricks of conversation. So firstly, let me share with you how to get talking to people when you're on your journeys. And I think it's really about the questions that you ask. We are quite clear that you're going to benefit from getting insights, recommendations as to restaurants, recommendations as places off the beaten track, recommendations as to bars and places to go and see, which may not be in the YouTube channel that you're following or the guidebook that you're reading. No. Locals have it all, and they have a unique insight as to what it's really like to go to a new destination. So the questions you ask are very open-ended. I'm going to give you one or two. The simplest one is, hello, as you may see, I'm new here. I'm a traveler, a foreigner. What's it like to live here? Now, most people will be delighted that anybody has even taken the time to ask about their circumstances. It's quite extraordinary, the response you get. If you'll say something like, hello, I'm traveling for the first time to your country. It would be great to hear what it's like for you to live here. Now, this is seen as a great courtesy by most people, that you are taking the trouble and the care to ask about their lives and what it's like. You're not just rocking up as some sort of rich tourist to take over a part of their beach, to wine and dine and then bugger off back to wherever you came from. No, you've taken the time. You've put a mark in the sand, literally sometimes, where you're looking to see what and how and where and why they live in a certain place. I can remember going on a press trip to Benidorm, a place which is universally despised by people who've usually never been there. It's been ruined by the reality TV shows that have turned it into some sort of lager drinking, tattooed louts who make life awful for the locals. Well, that may be partly true, but the amount of space in Benidorm that's reserved for lager louts is very, very small, and the police are very active. So when you actually go in to Benidorm and you actually chat to one or two of the bar owners, chat to one or two of the waiters, chat to one or two of the people on the stores, vending stores where they're selling their goods, they will be delighted that someone's actually taking an interest in you. And they will tell you, well, try this place here. And if you go down that little side street there, you're going to meet so-and-so. And that little bar, if you ask for Manuel, he will look after you. It's quite incredible the response you get when you do ask the question, I'm a foreigner. Could you tell me what it's like to live here? And the way people open up like flowers. So this is something that is a key to a whole new raft of experiences. I can remember just a couple of weeks ago, I was on the amazing bullet train, traveling back from Hiroshima, a most amazing trip. And the bullet train is full of people who are marked by the Japanese culture of not talking to anyone. There's a strict hierarchy. You're not even allowed to talk on your phone. Well, you could, but people would frown on it. There's no antisocial behavior. Everybody sits with their earphones on, minding their own business. Well, I was sitting next to a young man, again dressed in the uniform of the Japanese people, which is black suit, white shirt, black tie. And I knew we were coming to Mount Fuji, the extraordinary, beautiful mountain. So I just leaned over and I said, hello, could you tell me when that Mount Fuji, is this the right side for it? Well, he did not need much more prompting. He was 22-year-old, Akid. He was going for a job interview, and a whole area of life as a Japanese opened like a book, like a live YouTube channel in front of me. He actually so enjoyed being asked questions that he got out his phone. He said, well, listen, there you can see where Mount Fuji is. We'll be there in about 20 minutes time. Now you sit where I'm sitting and I'll talk you through this. Now, this was extraordinary. I got my front row seat to Mount Fuji. I got the map showing me when it was arriving. And then I turned to her and I said, through Google Translate, because neither of us spoke the other's language, I said, what is it like to live in Japan? And he gave me a very profound answer that really formed some of the writing and the reflections on this trip. He said, Kevin, because we were on first name terms by then, Kevin, it is a fantastic place, Japan, to have a job and for security. It is, from the bad side, that's the good part. The bad side is no one expresses themselves emotionally. He went on further when I reiterated this just by repeating back to him. Ooh, and that's a great way of reinforcing a conversation, is just to repeat the words back. Oh, so you found that people do not express themselves emotionally? Yes, he said. It is so difficult to really get out of your own little bubble that I think I'm going to go to a foreign country. I have the chance to go to, I think it was the Netherlands, and I'm going to go there for a year's work experience just to break out of the rigidity. Now, what an insight into Japan. What an insight into the culture. What an insight into what it's like to live there. And this is all by asking simple questions, open-ended questions, repeating back the answer, and actually taking, this is the most important bit, dear listener, taking a genuine interest in what they're saying and what they're doing. And you can do this with anybody. Next time you're away, chat to a waiter and ask him what's it like to be a waiter in this particular destination, what it's like to live there. Concierges are great if you're staying in a hotel. Diamond, of course, my great friend, he was a concierge in the Riverside Anatara in Bangkok, and we've become lifelong friends now because of that. Many people on the streets of Asia, where you can ask who are cooking, they're selling stuff. And of course, if you've got your Google Translate with you, you can ask. I can remember I had a shave, which many of you seen on the podcast. I also had a skin treatment and became friends with the lady that was doing this, who was really fascinated about life in Ireland and the fact it snowed and the fact it rained a lot and it was cold, something totally foreign to her. So I think the art of making friends will lead to a fantastic top travel destinations experience, because destinations are essentially made up of locals. And if you can reach out not only to the sights and the sounds of the place that you're staying in, but to the people, because they are the lifeblood. They are what makes Japan unique, Thailand unique, Taiwan unique, the mountain people of the Dolomites, the merchants of Venice. All of these are people that once you get past that initial hardcore of, no, I'm just serving you, that's it, you will find great gems, great wisdom, and great insights. And how much will that add to your travel experience?